Hello, everybody. We are just letting everyone enter the room. Welcome. Happy Thursday. All right. Just going to give it a minute or two before we start the full presentation. I'm just going to ask that if you do have a mic, just to mute yourself, just so that there's no background noise or interruptions. I hope you're as excited for this as I am. I'm super excited for this. Seeing a lot of familiar faces and names, so good to see some friends, clients, partners here in the participants panel. And perfect. So I think we've got quite a few people already here. So let's get started, everyone. So first things first, hello, everyone. Welcome to our workshop today, Advanced Approaches to VIP Program Development and VIP Brand Creation. I'd really like to thank you all for joining me today. I'd also like to thank Gaming Operations Academy and our knowledge partners, Golden Whale and Warrior Lab, for enabling this workshop for the iGaming community. Before we begin, for those who don't know me, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Gully Hartov. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Warrior Lab. We're a global management consultancy specializing in B2C operational optimization and strategy, with a niche focus in VIP and loyalty programs. For those who don't know Warrior Lab, as a consultancy, we've built and deployed the largest number of independent VIP programs globally, helping operators and VIP teams become independent without locking them into a subscription model or a platform. So it's our mission, and our mission is fairly simple. We empower VIP teams to own and run their VIP programs and strategies with confidence, as well as self-sufficiency. The approaches and strategies that I'm going to share are tried and tested, and they're built for real-world and high-performing teams. So without further ado, welcome to our VIP workshop. Today's session is just a preview of the full 2-day CPD accredited masterclass that's going to be taking place on the 28th and 29th of July. For those of you who have seen in the discussion panel, I've already shared a link for you to see. And at the end of today's workshop, I'm going to share a promo code that will give you a discount for the full course as well. So stay tuned for that. We're going to learn today what it takes to build, launch, and run a high-performing VIP program that drives long-term loyalty and fuels scalable, sustainable growth. And we'll unpack the global shift in VIP expectations as well, with practical insights and real-world case studies to help you benchmark and adapt, and as well as staying ahead. So I'm really happy to see that, within this is going to be real value in this conversation. It's something that you guys, I'm going to ask you to listen quite attentively, because not all this information is going to be on the slide. A lot of the value is in what I'm saying in this conversation. So pay attention, take notes, and if there's time at the end, we'll open up for a Q&A as well. So let me walk you through some of the topics that we'll touch on in today's workshop. What you'll see here is a high-level overview of the masterclass agenda, broken down into day 1 and day 2. This is a roadmap of the core themes and focus areas that we'll explore together. This is just the starting point. There's much more depth and discussion to discover, and we'll work through each focus area together as well. So let's start with day 1, and I'll walk you through what's planned for day 2 shortly. So I'll give you guys a moment just to read the slide, and we'll move on in just a second. All right. And here you'll see the topics for day 2 of the masterclass, which we'll touch on today as well. Just for those that are messaging in the discussion, just a quick heads up, I can't see the discussion page while I'm presenting right now. So at the end, I will open up the discussion page and I'll get to any questions or anything that you pop in there. Feel free to drop your questions in there while I'm talking, and we'll get to it at the end as well. All right, guys, so let's go. Let's start off firstly introducing VIP. VIP is more than just high value players that spend big. It's an ideology, a skill set, and a strategy. So VIP is an ideology as much as it is a practice, because VIP to our VIP players is a lifestyle. This is what has led to huge industry investment in VIP program strategy, innovation, and skills being developed since the start of gambling. When we talk about VIP as a function or a unique selling point of an operator, often the interpretation is elevated support, marketing, and effort focused on the high value segment. And the reality is that VIP is so much more than just value. As a result of VIP being multifaceted, there are principles and prerequisites required for any operator or VIP team wanting to offer a VIP program in order to succeed. Understanding who a VIP is and how VIPs expect to be treated are just some of the requirements to building our VIP strategies, training VIP skills, and succeeding in retaining and growing VIP business. In addition to that, VIP today has become unique, and it has to be unique. It needs to be customized and player centric across every level and every channel of the VIP program, both internally and externally. So VIP as an offering can best be summarized as practice what you preach. That being said, when we talk about VIPs, we're referring to more than just wealth. And I want to start today by sharing my personal definition of what a VIP is. So my definition of what a VIP is a player that spends above standard spending levels, can lose, and continue playing without those losses interrupting or changing their player behavior, and they continue to spend consistently. This also reflects their value, loyalty, and strong engagement with the brand. That's why they are typically recognized and treated with special privileges and tailored services. Now, VIP is critical to the success of any business, and it's more relevant today than it's ever been before. And at the heart of a VIP program is the personal relationships built with the highest value players that we have. And it's these relationships that are created with long-term loyalty in mind, not just short-term gains. I'm hearing a little bit of feedback from someone with a mic off. I'm just going to ask again, please, guys, if you can mute your mics. Perfect. All righty. Now, let's consider the impact of VIP players on overall business and business performance. Even though VIPs might represent less than 1% and up to 15% of our player base, they can contribute anywhere between 40 to 70% of bottom line contribution to the business. The performance of the small segment can therefore make or break a business. The strategic importance of a VIP program, therefore, cannot be overstated. These programs aren't just about offering rewards. They are designed to acquire high-value players, drive revenue, and boost player retention. And the reality is that there's no one-size-fits-all approach, especially in the VIP world. Every VIP program must be uniquely tailored to fit the needs of its players, where understanding and applying personalization is key to unlocking loyalty and exceeding expectations. It's this flexibility and adaptability that's significant to determining, the difference between retaining your most valuable players and losing them to your competitors. Now, ultimately, tailored VIP strategies are what's going to determine and directly impact the three areas of every operator: acquisition, retention, and churn. In addition to that, never underestimate the impact of VIPs on the bottom line. They often determine whether a business has a profitable month or falls short of financial targets. So, from my perspective, VIPs are the backbone of revenue streams. Ultimately, the only true differentiator between successful and failed VIP programs is the level of exceptional service, professionalism, and impact that we deliver as operators. And it's the quality of the experience we create while remaining memorable that sets us apart and secures us long-term success. I want to turn our focus now to VIP programs. And let's first look at the what. What is a VIP program? A VIP program is a structured approach implemented by operators that caters for VIP players. It involves providing exclusive benefits, rewards, and personalized experiences to enhance player engagement and nurture long-term loyalty. VIP programs often consist of tiered or segmented structured systems, tailored promotions, dedicated points of contact, or other incentives to cater to different levels of the VIP segment. So, to reiterate, in today's VIP world, having a robust, customized, and unique VIP program and strategy, it's a must-have. It's a must-have to remain competitive and to remain attractive. And that takes us to the why. VIP programs aren't just a feature of a website or a nice-to-have. They are standalone. They are an executive level segment within any brand and throughout the industry. So these programs are designed to deliver an elevated level of personalized service, curating bespoke experiences for high net worth individuals who form our most valuable player segment that our teams serve. And while no two VIP programs are the same, and there's no universal formula for success, what sets VIP programs apart is the commitment to individuality and treating every interaction and experience as a uniquely tailored event for your player. The VIP approach and successful VIP strategies are focused on customized and meaningful VIP experiences. So VIP, it's not a luxury, it's an essential component, offering exclusivity, enhanced experiences, and personalized service. These factors contribute to growing loyalty, retention, and ultimately long-term profitability. It's something that we will unpack further. So that's just a taste of some of what we'll discuss in the 2-day masterclass. And I'll give you a moment to read here some of the additional focus areas that we're going to discuss as well. In the meantime, I'll have a sip of my drink. All right, then. Now, let's talk about how we modernize our VIP programs. So shifting from linear to dynamic, legacy VIP has generally followed a fairly linear approach to creating and managing VIP segments. Now, as technology has evolved and player dynamics have shifted, this has led to the need to diversify our approach to become more dynamic. Dynamic VIP models and strategies are more inclusive and open VIP up to more opportunity to discover players earlier, develop value that's dedicated and detected earlier, and grow VIP segments in a robust and articulated way. Dynamic segmentation and models allow operators to enhance player retention and loyalty models and improve our targeting and personalization while better managing resource allocation and adaptability. And I'd like to unpack this a bit further. In understanding modernizing VIP and how programs are shifting from a linear to a dynamic VIP model, a dynamic approach determines a VIP program's direction, enabling a proactive approach. Traditional and more commonly found linear models, by contrast, are primarily transactionally motivated and in part reactive. So dynamic models offer a more holistic and robust understanding to the VIP player and program of today, whereas linear VIP models are not only reductionist, which means that they reduce the meaning of something complex, but they're becoming outdated. And the speed in which dynamic models are being created is quickening through the adoption of technology. So we will elaborate more on this shortly in greater detail in the 2-day masterclass through our practical case study of Golden Whale. But to illustrate this, I've put a table on the screen in front of you now. And I think it's important to highlight here that the majority of VIP programs across the industry utilize an approach known as linear, where this predominantly focuses on financial and transactional data above everything else. And as VIP is evolving, a new model spurred on by technological advancement has emerged. And this new model follows what is now known as a dynamic approach. A dynamic VIP model focuses on all elements that a VIP player comprises of. These could be elements such as transactional data, gameplay behavior, activity behavior, and general behavioral attribution that is reflective of a VIP segment without the financial aspects presenting as VIP value. What this means is that through a dynamic model, we are able to identify and categorize high potential value before a player has reached the VIP segment thresholds. Now, let's translate this topic of dynamic models through the lens of our practical case study, Golden Whale. And before I unpack all of that, allow me to offer some context of who Golden Whale is. So, founded in 2022, Golden Whale has quickly grown into an international operation, now active worldwide to support operators and suppliers within iGaming specific tech for machine learning and AI. The team around the original founder and former CEO of GreenTube, Eberhard Derschmidt, boasts very experienced industry experts like his co-founder and CTO, Thomas Kalberbeck, the former CTO of GreenTube Group, and co-founder and COO, Claudia Haling. They've therefore amassed a wealth of specific know-how from all verticals in the business and have formed a combined and combination of infrastructure builders for large-scale gaming operations and AI ML experts in the field of iGaming. Why Golden Whale, and why would we have seen them as our practical case study? Golden Whale sees itself as a strategic partner for operators and technology suppliers, providing advanced tools for data-driven decision-making with a strong emphasis on improving player engagement and retention. So closing major gaps in industry standard CRM, user acquisition, and VIP operational processes. Golden Whale's core products and services include machine learning specific real-time data processing, leading into behavioral analytics and machine learning, as well as AI-powered optimization systems that allow operators to early detect player properties, as well as greatly and personally enhance player experiences, thereby reducing churn and loyalty costs and maximizing LTV. Golden Whale builds and operates what is known as Foundation, an AI platform that uses machine learning to predict player behavior and tailor in-game experiences. So Foundation predicts trends in acquisition, onboarding, monetization, and churn, to name a few key domains, by filtering out noise and highlighting meaningful patterns. Foundation enables teams to make informed, data-driven decisions. So with that context in mind, let's now take a closer look at dynamic VIP models powered by and enhanced with adaptive technology such as Golden Whale. I want everyone to think of it as AI tailored to your operation. So rather than using a one-size-fits-all rule set or models, Foundation trains machine learning models on each operator's historical and transactional data. So this enables personalized, scalable engagement based on actual user behavior, outperforming generic models and static rule sets. By automating decision making, this approach significantly reduces the manual effort typically tied to optimizing VIP operations, and it frees up teams to focus on strategy over routine tasks. And as a result, VIP teams can identify high potential players early, engage more meaningfully, and allocate resources more effectively across the VIP segments. And next up, when we look at this, it's about how custom always beats generic. Foundation responds to shifts in engagement, monetization, and retention. So VIP teams can stay ahead by delivering the right message at the right moment. And finally, it's time to leave static segmentation behind, because Foundation replaces generic models, it fixed rules and batch campaigns with basically continuous real-time engagement driven by live data. So through leveraging dynamic models through advanced tech like Golden Whale, operators can shift from this reactive VIP approach to a proactive insight-led framework. So instead of waiting for VIPs to just surface, you're anticipating player behavior in real time, leading to early value detection, more consistent engagement, and more responsive VIP ecosystems overall. We'll explore an applied example of this later during this session, but for now, the key takeaway is this. Dynamic doesn't just mean automated. It means adaptive, predictive, and personalized at scale. Now, looking at this slide and referencing what we've been speaking about, when we reviewed Golden Whale as our practical case study, the results clearly demonstrated what's possible when we put the right tech into play. So it's not just about features, it's about results that make a difference where it counts. And I want to illustrate these three results more importantly. A 30% increase in monetization, a 20% reduction in bonus costs, and massive growth uplifts in the hundreds of percent. Now, these stats demonstrate that for modern operations to function competitively, data-driven and machine-controlled go-to-market strategies, they aren't just an advantage. They're fast becoming the new standard. Now, moving on to the next topic, knowing your VIP environment, it is critical to fully understand the type of VIP environment that we are operating within and the best practices for excelling in that model. Each environment requires a distinct approach, and expanding our knowledge regarding these nuances is what will enable us to deliver exceptional VIP service to our VIPs while consistently and accurately representing our VIP program. And this in turn ensures sustainable engagement and loyalty from our VIP players. So to unpack the types of VIP environments, let's go over the different types that you might be managing. So if you have a VIP operation, think inwards and let's see if you can identify what's yours. Knowing these variations, I think it's something that will really help you better understand how to deliver the best experience for each VIP. So first, there is the tiered model. In this type of program, players simply move up and down through different structured levels based on their activity, with each level offering a variation of rewards or incentives. You might be familiar with the structure already, but remember that while it's straightforward, it can sometimes lack that personal touch that makes VIP feel genuinely valued. Then there's the custom or tailored approach. So unlike tiered models, this one focuses on personalizing the experience for each VIP, where your role here is to understand what makes each player tick and offer them something that makes them feel unique and appreciated. This personalization is key to setting your VIP program apart from others by offering bespoke VIP experiences. And in doing so, we elevate the standard of service and differentiate ourselves from competitors. So it's about bringing that like stand out in the crowd feel to every VIP interaction. And then we also have automated versus personalized or human touch environments. Now, automation can make things efficient, especially when managing a lot of players, such as automatic rewards, messages, and responses, which can save time. However, it's important to remember that human touch is what builds real relationships. So striking the right balance between automation and personalized interaction will help you maintain efficiency while also creating strong emotional connections with your VIPs. Excuse me. Let's look at a definition of human touch. For those of you that don't know what human touch is, this is the added effort that is felt through human engagement that goes beyond system configuration and automation, that supports the development and nurturing of a VIP or player relationship. Now, it's important to understand that AI and automation can never replace empathy, human touch, and critical thinking in this way, where each type of environment as well has its unique approach, and understanding how to work within these will help you to deliver the best possible service to your VIPs, while at the same time consistently and correctly representing your program. And that in turn is what keeps your VIPs engaged and loyal. Now, that's the environment. Now, let's look at VIP program types. There are 3 distinctive VIP program types available to the iGaming industry right now. The 3 types are a sub-brand, an extended brand, and an exclusive brand. Each program type has its pros and cons, as well as considerations when designing and deploying the VIP program as part of a brand. Now, it's important to note that this is not the point of choosing between a hidden or a public VIP program. This comes after the program's creation or creative choices have been made and the internal strategy has been built to support your program. And I want to break down very briefly what those 3 types are. So I'm going to start with sub-brand. A sub-brand operates under the main brand, but are aimed at giving a specific segment of VIPs a unique experience. So you'll be focusing on how to highlight these unique features to make VIPs feel like they're getting something above and beyond. Sub-brands, in this case, they operate in their own unique brand language. Whereas extended brands, the next type of brand type, they are an expansion of the main brand. They offer a unique VIP experience while still keeping the core brand's identity. So in your interactions, you should aim to emphasize how this experience builds on what VIPs have already come to love about the main brand. And that's because these extended brands operate in the main brand's language. And the last type that we have is probably one that is less familiar to the majority of the industry, and that's by design. And that's a type called an exclusive brand. Now, exclusive brands are entirely separate and are all about delivering a premium experience to an exclusive group. When we're working with these players, it's all about reinforcing their exclusivity and making sure that they feel like they're receiving something truly special that no one else gets. And it's for that reason that exclusive brands operate on a completely decentralized and unrelated brand language where they present as its own standalone brand. Okay? And this is something, again, that we'll unpack more in the 2-day masterclass. I'm just going to give you guys a moment to read the points that we'll discuss, and then we'll move on to our next slide. All righty. So, VIP acquisition, retention, and growth. We know from these points that they are not to be seen as standalone pillars or efforts, but as part of a cohesive player journey. These 3 areas must work together to support the entire VIP player journey, as well as long-term brand affinity, loyalty, advocacy, and sustainable growth. So in summary, with these points, acquisition is about how to set VIPs up for success from day one. Retention is the engine that drives loyalty and prevents churn. And growth is elevating VIPs through structured, sustainable programs. Too often in our industry, the scale is tilted disproportionately towards acquisition metrics. This is looking at like total number of unique actives, total number of new FTDs, but far less weight is given to how many of those are retained, developed, or promoted. And this is a mindset that needs to change, especially now when acquisition is becoming more expensive and more competitive than it's ever been before. When it comes to VIP, this has become even more critical. Bringing players to the door, it's only step 1, but there's no such thing as true VIP acquisition. You don't know who your VIPs are at the point of registration. What you do know is that there are potential VIPs hiding in that funnel. And unless you're investing time and technology and strategy into nurturing them and their potential remains unrealized. And with that said, the real work, the work that builds long-term value, it begins after FTD. It's what you do post FTD that determines whether a player grows, stagnates, or churns. And this is where the onboarding, segmentation, and tailored lifecycle engagement matters the most. We'll dig deeper into this when we explore onboarding as a strategic entry point to enable personalized development journeys at scale. And when we talk about growth, we also need to remember here, if your organization is overly fixated on filling the top of the funnel, but it lacks the infrastructure or focus to develop those players into loyal VIPs, guaranteed you're bleeding value. In today's market, VIPs are not consolidating their loyalty with a single brand anymore. Maybe 10 years ago, sure, but today it's not happening. And often what we find is VIPs hold between 3 to 5 accounts simultaneously, which means that personalized effort is required to encourage these players to consolidate. Ultimately, the biggest missed revenue in VIP today, it doesn't come from losing VIPs. It comes from never recognizing or activating them in the first place. So it's not due to lack of players. It's due to underdeveloped strategies and disguised neglect. Now, when we look at the VIP journey, each stage supports the next. And I want you guys to think of this as a value ladder. In our 2-day masterclass, we will break these focus areas down for clarity, but we will always reconnect them strategically, especially in regulated markets, cross-department collaboration as well. It isn't just a luxury now, it's a necessity. In fact, even in unregulated markets, it remains a fundamental driver of success. So whether operating in regulated or unregulated markets, alignment and collaboration is what turns good VIP programs into great VIP programs. And it keeps those VIP programs accountable and defensible, especially when under scrutiny and especially when it counts. And on that note, I'd like to jump to a case study. And before I do, I'm going to have a sip of my drink. Right. So, as we continue our discussion on acquisition, retention, and VIP management, let's explore how one European gaming operator approached the challenge of improving engagement and performance while under pressure, and again through the lens of our practical case study, Golden Whale. The challenge was a need for speed and smarter engagement. So a well-established operator in one of Europe's most competitive and highly regulated markets was facing rising acquisition costs and challenges to boost engagement and retention. So in this instance, every player interaction mattered. Internally, teams spent too much time on analysis, planning, A/B tests, and they got trapped in that slow cycle and these slow cycles of guesswork and small wins, leaving little room for creativity or strategic planning. They needed a faster insight and lighter workflows in order to stay ahead. So to break down and look at the practical implementation here, I'll break it down into 4 steps. Step 1, Golden Whale didn't ask for clean schemas or custom APIs. Instead, they used the operator's existing transactional and gameplay data, raw and as is. There was no reformatting or data cleaning beyond current practices. Only non-PII data as well in this instance was touched. So that alone cleared one of the biggest hurdles to AI adoption. And that led to step 2. And in step 2 here, the models were trained exclusively on the operator's own data. So no shared algorithm or pooled training sets like you find in certain AI companies. And what this ensured was that the insights were precise, they were player specific, and they were completely secure. In step 3, predictions were delivered in the operator's preferred format, and they plugged directly into existing CRM and engagement tools. So no middleware or tech overhaul was required. The integration here was built around their way of working, not the other way around. And step 4, in this case, with predictions live, the operator launched dynamic campaigns bonuses, nudges, and offers that were tailored to real-time behavior. Meanwhile, gameplay data kept flowing, fueling a feedback loop that Golden Whale calls loops. And the model kept learning, adapting, and improving, always aligned with the player trends and the business goals. And the results were just mind-blowing. So deploying Foundation delivered strong, measurable uplifts compared to existing methods over 12 months. And I've highlighted that for you on the screen now. Revenue rose 14% through personalized offers and recommendations that boosted user conversion and spending. Player retention improved 16%, driven by automated context-aware engagement tailored to individual preferences. And these gains allowed the operator to optimize resources and reinvest in growth improvements, resulting in significant additional growth in active users, plus 136% per annum. So in conclusion, in this case study, Golden Whale's Foundation platform helped the operator turn complexity into clarity and guesswork into growth. So by plugging directly into existing systems, using real-time data and eliminating manual effort, Foundation delivered faster insights, smarter engagement, and stronger results. And the payoff: higher revenue, better retention, and more time for teams to focus on what matters most, building great player experiences. And here you can see how the revenue and players retained grew over that same 12-month period. So I think it's a no-brainer. The results are just mind-blowing in this case, and this is why I wanted to share it with you today. Again, there will be additional focuses that we will unpack in the 2-day masterclass, and I'm going to give you guys a moment to read this while I have another sip of my drink, and then we'll move on to our next topic. Alrighty then. So let's talk about VIP brand creation. When building a VIP brand, it's more than just the aesthetic and what you see. A brand is an identity, and it's through that identity that you build tones of voice, community, affiliation, identification, as well as familiarity. So brands are strategically created to appeal to the majority demographic of an operator. And they're created through data and market research and should follow a calculated approach using the philosophy built by VIP for VIP. Following on from the VIP program types, the sub-brand, extended, etc., these will also determine the creative direction and player experience of your brand. So on the screen, I've just put one of the brands that I built many moons ago, the 10 Club. And this was an example of a sub-brand that was built around our own identity that established VIP as an easily recognizable flagship feature of the brand that it represented. Now, this is something that we will definitely unpack more in depth during the 2-day masterclass. So I'll give you again a second to see what we're going to cover. Again, we'll have case studies and we'll showcase real examples of websites that you probably are familiar with, maybe some that you aren't. And now we're going to move to one of my favorite topics, the topic of segmentation. And let's start our segmentation discussion with a quick refresher. As we've discussed, the VIP segment isn't just any group of players. It's an exclusive inner circle reserved for individuals that demonstrate remarkable commitment, loyalty, and value. So these VIP players are defined not only by their spending, but by a nuanced understanding of their behaviors, preferences, and engagement levels. Now, why is it necessary to segment VIPs in the first place? And this is the question a lot of new operators tend to ask. Why is this necessary? By segmenting, operators gain clearer visibility into their player base, allowing them to manage promotions and player engagement more effectively, as well as better mitigate risk. Now, segmentation also serves as the backbone for building a more structured VIP program. So once the criteria behind each VIP segment has been clearly defined, it becomes much easier to deploy dedicated teams and create bespoke strategies that are relevant for each of those segments and for those players. And this, again, is something that we're going to unpack a lot more in the 2-day course. I'll give you guys a moment to read the slides so you can see what is included in the 2-day masterclass. And now the topic that every operator wants to know, VIP retention. And looking at how VIP retention works. And it starts with onboarding. Retention doesn't begin when players slow down. And this is a common misconception. Retention begins the moment that they sign up and make their first deposit. Onboarding is where the first impressions, segmentation, and expectations are first set. And a smooth, tailored onboarding sets the tone and establishes a robust foundation for trust and long-term loyalty. And taking this a step further, the VIP onboarding process is the bridge between identifying potential VIPs and immersing them into an operator's VIP world. This process stands as somewhat of a gateway to an elevated player experience where the efficiency of this process shapes initial player perceptions and it sets the tone for their VIP experience. There's a repercussion here if you do this wrong, and the repercussions of a sluggish VIP onboarding process, it extends beyond engagement to impact the company's financial health. So an ineffective onboarding strategy, it results in revenue leakage and VIP churn. And the impact here overall hits what? Profitability, not to even mention how it affects brand reputation. So a comprehensive VIP onboarding strategy must be viewed by operators as an investment in and of itself and for the future. This virtuous cycle promotes revenue growth, it augments player LTV, and it elevates the brand's market standing and VIP image. And I want to look at some of the key factors here to consider. A strong onboarding experience should feel curated for the individual, and this extends to multiple areas, and I'll name a few for you. Risk checks, KYC, AML, source of wealth, product interests, communication preferences, expected player value, all of that can be curated. And then we move into the next point in this, which is tracking behavioral variables. So from day one, we need to track dynamic behavioral variables and attribution. So ask yourself the question, what triggered their first deposit? What content or which content channel drove them in? What are they responding to now versus their entry point? How new players versus VIPs engage with your product? And at the same time, look at deposit growth and betting behavior among numerous other indicators. And when we look at dynamic behavioral tracking and early detection strategies, that's what kicks in immediately. We should start identifying patterns early. Again, asking the questions, is this a high frequency player? Are they a large depositor? Are there early signs of risk aversion or bonus dependency? And the sooner you know how to answer some of these questions, the better you can personalize. Now, it takes us to the next point, segmentation and personalization. Segmentation and personalization, again, should start immediately. Again, we don't treat new VIPs as a one-size-fits-all group. So we use early signals to guide engagement strategies, even if that means that we need to create what is known as micro segments. So micro segmentation and continuous behavioral analysis, that should guide onboarding and early player development strategies. And the top performing VIP teams, in this instance, they are the proactive ones. They don't wait for drop-offs, they get ahead of them. So that's where data-driven action and personalization then comes into it. So data should drive action. It's not just reporting. You know, if someone's pattern shifts, that's a cue to act, not simply observe. So in this case, and this is an area where a lot of operators tend to struggle, data should be operationalized. If a player's deposit behavior changes, or if their game preferences suddenly shift, that's a signal to engage. It's not just a report. When it comes to data-driven personalization, the real opportunity lies in assessing how all those player behaviors compare to the mapped out player base. To determine who is behaving or acting like a defined VIP before monetary indicators present themselves, this informs us on who and how to engage. So that's the challenging part, but it's also where the greatest value sits. This is the essence, ultimately, of dynamic modeling. That's also what feeds into sustainable models. So it is something that we touched on earlier that will be discussed further in the masterclass. And this is what, at the end of the day, compliance and regulators are looking at. And they're now increasingly demanding it. Do you have sustainable models that don't only emphasize deposits and losses? And last but not least, we're going to highlight here player feedback. Never underestimate the power of early stage player feedback. High value players are often the best source of insight into your player experience. They'll tell you what's working, what's not working, and what's missing. High value players are more likely to tell you if something isn't working, and they'll do so early. If you build trust from the outset, they'll help you refine and future-proof your journey design. And VIPs, and I've always said this, and VIP teams should also be included in this, but VIPs are your best feedback loop. It's about leveraging VIPs and constructive feedback to enhance the player journey and experience and life cycle. And I'm not talking about sending your VIPs some Google survey and asking them to fill in like a 20-question questionnaire. Get your account managers to engage their players and extract honest feedback. Okay, don't incentivize it either upfront because you'll skew your results. So the final thought here is ultimately, retention isn't about offering more bonuses. It's about delivering relevancy, responsiveness, and building a relationship that adapts as your player evolves. And it all starts with a data-led, behaviorally intelligent onboarding experience. And I'm going to go to a case study to illustrate this for you now. So I'd like to share a case study from Warrior Lab, where we were working with a North American operator that had one of the most unbelievable acquisition funnels I've personally ever seen. They were acquiring anywhere from 5,000 to 25,000 unique registrations per day. And the strategy was entirely focused on volume acquisition over value, i.e., quantity over quality. The problem with this operator is that they were experiencing a 30 to 40% drop off after FTD that didn't go on and make that second deposit, and an additional 30 to 40% that didn't go on to make a third deposit. So by the time their acquired players reached VIP, the conversion percentage had dropped to low single digits. So once Warrior Lab deployed our interdepartmental collaboration strategies and VIP onboarding strategies, and we shifted the focus onto retention and player development, what we saw was a 15% drop in churn between each journey phase. And we saw a huge 20 to 25% increase on the conversion rate post third deposit into pre-VIP. These are just some of the statistics of the impact of deploying a strong onboarding strategy done right. Okay. Last but not least, let's talk about shifting from being reactive to proactive. And we need to move away from a wait and see mindset and into a predict and act approach, especially when it comes to identifying and engaging VIP behavior early. VIP teams must be empowered to act and make decisions, not just report. This is where predictive models come in by using historical data with machine learning and AI. And we can generate educated forecasts around player value, risk signals, and intent early, fast, and at scale. We're not guessing anymore. We're acting on behavioral signals with 50 to 90% accuracy. Even at 50%, you're working with far more insight than zero. So ultimately, it's smarter to act on the best educated guess than to wait for our players to disappear with no data or direction. We'd much rather engage a player with a strong probability of value now than wait for silence and scramble to reactivate them once it's too late. In this industry, speed and precision matter, and the margin for error is often the difference between retention and churn. So, much like a weather forecast, it doesn't need to be perfect, just accurate enough to guide smarter decisions. It's much better to carry an umbrella than get caught in the storm. This kind of proactive approach reduces churn, it increases conversion, and it builds player trust through timely, relevant engagement. And here's the best part. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. There's amazing AI tech out there already that supports this. It's exactly why Warrior Lab has partnered with these companies such as Golden Whale. And we just need to understand how to leverage that tech with the correct human oversight and operational strategies to get the maximum value out of that tech. And when you do get it right, it's not just about capability and driving long-term growth. It's a superpower that is hyper competitive. Now, before I jump to I'll jump to the next slide, but before I move on from here, I've just noticed the time. We are going to run slightly over, and I apologize for that. It's a lot of information to share, and I wanted to give you as much value as possible. So for those who won't be able to stay after 3, this is being recorded, and you can log back into your account to see what you miss if you have to jump off at 3. For those who can stay on, please, I invite you to stay on. I would appreciate you staying till the end so that you get your discount code for the 2-day masterclass. Now, moving on to the next slide, early detection and pre-VIP. Between the VIP and non-VIP segments, we have 2 additional segments. We have early detected VIPs and pre-VIPs. Early detected VIPs are a new pre-VIP segment that has emerged that is not pre-VIP. An early detected VIP player is not guaranteed to be a VIP. These players are detected based on behavioral attributes that mirror the behavior of VIP players. So due to the detection modeling working on behavior rather than value, these predictive models operate between 50 to 90% accuracy rating to find VIPs as quickly as within 72 hours. So early detection models and early detection modeling exists as a support mechanism and tool to grow VIP within an operation. So early detected VIP, in this case, as benefits, what does it do? It increases loyalty, positive word of mouth, organic player development and growth. It increases gameplay and activity, and it lowers the risk of VIP churn or missed opportunities. So pre-VIP players compared to early detected VIPs, pre-VIP players are defined as known and established accounts that present behaviors mirroring VIP traits and have presented above average financial value. So this segment is often the target segment for VIP trials and player development to grow existing VIP segments. But it's the pre-VIP programs and teams that work within the VIP team that provide a function that supports this VIP growth. And when we look at early detection, AI, and machine learning, the question that comes to mind is like, why are AI and machine learning the future in iGaming? Gone are the days where strategy and decision making are based on manual human instinct alone. And what AI and ML are doing, especially in the world that we live in today, is it's necessitating a move towards data-driven insights. So to stay abreast of competitors, there is a gradual shift towards the adoption of emerging AI technology to offer personalization, preempt fraudulent activity, and comply with evolving regulatory changes. So the benefits of leveraging AI and ML to support an operator's VIP program can be broken down in the points in front of you. Foster VIP identification, which enables us to analyze data points like deposits, betting trends, game preferences, and engagement patterns within the first few days. Personalized offering with early identification of potential VIPs, promotions, and loyalty programs can therefore be tailored specifically to those high-value players from the get-go. And when we look at data-driven decision-making, we're talking about predictions that are not based on any subjective experience or individual biases. Data-driven predictions prevent any biases from influencing our decision-making. And the last point here is improved player experience. So targeting high potential players early with relevant offers and rewards, which creates a more positive experience for potential VIPs, which further nurtures their engagement, retention, and loyalty. Regarding our practical case study here of Golden Whale specifically, there's also a dual focus to this. For operators, it's by integrating into existing operator platforms without technical load. So Golden Whale offers teams a practical way to access the benefits of ML and AI quickly without major changes to operational structure. And for VIP teams, this opens the door to new capabilities in working with as well as filtering through large volumes of data. It also enables a very early detection of potential VIPs and selection of meaningful targets, optimization tools for reaching higher LTVs, and data-informed recommendation systems to support meaningful personalized communication with our VIPs. These systems all support and enhance efficiency and strengthen critical decision-making across all areas of VIP engagement and satisfaction. I also wanted to mention that in this case with Golden Whale can become both turnkey or an in-house solution, And I recommend, for more information on this, to reach out to Golden Whale directly, and they'll share that information with you. Lastly, these are the points that we'll discuss in our 2-day masterclass. I'll give you a moment to read these through. And then we're going to move into the near end of today's presentation by discussing the consequences of rushing to launch a VIP program. Now, the thrill of VIP perks and being part of a VIP program fades really quickly when the journey starts with delays and shortfalls. It leaves VIPs feeling disconnected and less committed. So this is not just about keeping the current VIPs happy. Potential VIPs are always watching. And if they see a half-managed welcome, they're going to think twice about centralizing their business with your VIP program. That will result to a slow or no pre-VIP onboarding potential. But the real trouble actually starts when those negative sentiments spread. So when VIPs start talking about their subpar experiences, it's like this giant neon sign flashing going, stay away, to anyone and everyone who's prepared to listen. And the fallout of this can be extreme, from a drop in referrals to a surge in bad mouthing. Your VIP program is going to take a hit that is incredibly hard to recover from. And there's more to this. Trying to get to a place of acceptance after being shunned by VIP circles, it's not just difficult, it's incredibly expensive. So often, if bonusing is not an option, misguided operators tend to go down an even worse road, which includes making promises that they cannot keep in a desperate bid to redeem themselves. So the point here to remember is that VIPs talk to other VIPs, and VIPs know other VIPs. So if you're not nailing that first impression, you're not just losing out on the players that you have, you're missing out on a whole world of potential VIPs that haven't even registered on your site or been detected yet as VIP value. This is something that we are going to unpack in the 2-day masterclass, but I'd like to highlight that a significant part of our discussion will be centered around the growing issue in the industry of buying loyalty. So it's a topic of increased relevance and importance across the industry right now, and we'll examine both the risk it presents and the strategies available to address it effectively. So to wrap up today, just with some final thoughts and the strategic takeaway, regarding the foundation, VIP success is built on trust, clear strategy, and structured data-driven decision-making. Regarding the focus, precision, strong processes, and meaningful personalization will always outperform short-term reward. And lastly, regarding the future, sustainable growth comes from the inside out. Empowered teams, tools aligned with strategy, and engagement that evolves with our VIPs. So on that note, I just want to share a few thank yous with everyone. Firstly, thank you for staying a bit later. I do appreciate it, for your attention. Thank you to Gaming Operations Academy and to our knowledge partners, Golden Whale and Warrior Lab, for enabling this workshop. And a special thank you to Adi Hartov from the Warrior Lab team for leading our team, for all your work in the behind the scenes to bring today's workshop to life. Last but not least, to share a final reminder that the CPD accredited 2-day masterclass is taking place on the 28th and 29th of July. I'd love for you to join in that in-depth discussion. I've shared the link already in the discussion. I'm going to share your promo code for an exclusive discount. So thank you again. For those that want to quickly dive into the discussion, I'm going to see if there's any questions in there. But first things first, here is your discount code for the masterclass. I'm going to quickly go through those questions, so bear with me a second. Going through all the hellos. The one question I see here is, will there be another masterclass in August, September. I'm not sure yet when the next masterclass will be after the one in July, but there will be another masterclass towards the end of the year. Let's just see if there are any other questions. Noreen, thank you for the kind words. Laura, thank you so much. I say there's no questions at the moment, so hopefully you guys are keeping it then for the 2-day masterclass. I really hope that you walk away with some insights into the advanced side of VIP program development and brand creation. As always, if ever you've got questions, LinkedIn me, email us. We're always happy to help. Guys, on that note, have a fantastic week further, a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you all in the advanced class or on LinkedIn soon. Bye for now.